Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only the best. I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path. I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
Hi guys, so thank you so much everyone for being here. I do have Bash, who is going to also join me for this, so I'm going to add her to the stream now as well. So for those of you who aren't aware of Layla Santanello, she is a now 21-year-old who went missing on June 27th. The last time she was seen is reportedly June 27th, so it has been over 2 months. And so we have her stepmom, Brittany, who is going to join us. She has agreed to answer questions, and I just ask that we remain respectful and kind in the chat, because the important thing, again, is that we find Layla. So I am going to add Brittany to the stream. So Brittany, we are live.
Hi.
Hi there. Welcome and thank you for reaching out.
Yeah.
A lot of people in chat are eager to hear Layla's story, and you know,
yes.
We're all hopeful that she's found.
It's definitely been something that, even as a step parent, you know, something that I was not intended to face with, and I, you know, definitely don't know how to, of course, handle a situation like this. So I don't think any parent is ever prepared or, ever thinking of what is, the right thing to do or not to do, of course. And so we just, of course, just reacted and wanted to stay proactive. And, when I first got the message from Jennifer, Layla's mother, at like 7:50 in the morning, it was the last Sunday that we actually heard from her, stating that, she was in fact okay at that time. Layla did not have a phone. She was using, in fact, somebody else's. And she was reaching out through Messenger on Facebook. So I know a lot of people were like, oh, well, why not call the number back? Well, if we had the number, we would. So, there was just a lot more to it, other than just calling a number that we didn't have. So, when she said she was okay, as her own mother, speaking for Jennifer, she, just kind of brushed it off and was not, taking it in a serious manner at that time. I guess she just thought that she wanted time, to herself because Layla was in fact going through things, in life, and what 20-year-old doesn't, I mean, Layla wanted to be, an adult and a mom so bad, and she, became a mom and an adult, but as she saw, it wasn't as cracked up as to be, but she definitely found herself involved in some things that, every kid finds themselves to get into every now and again, but she just kind of got lost into it, getting herself involved with a boyfriend, that was involved with, drugs and crime. And when, you're involved with things like that after so long, you just kind of tag right into it, with your significant other. I don't really care what anybody says, majority of the time it's either you're going to go right into it or you're not, and you're just not even going to bother being with the person. But majority of the time, when you're in a controlling relationship at that moment, she did what, she wanted to do. And that, hold on, that's what, she wanted to do. She wanted to be with Michael. We tried getting her out so many times, and she just didn't want that. She wanted to be with the boyfriend, and she wanted to, not leave his side, which I can understand because, love makes you do things, that you normally wouldn't see yourself doing, especially at a young age. But, we try to guide Layla as best as we can, and do the things, that we thought as a parent was doing right, as far as, guiding her, because we can't make her do anything that she just doesn't want to do, so no matter the bribery and, no matter the endless talks and things that we would want to do, we can only guide her, but she has to do it herself, but
I have a quick question. What has happened to Layla's phone? Why didn't she have a phone?
so Layla's phone was confiscated, through law enforcement. The boyfriend actually had, the phone at the time, and since he was arrested on drug related offenses, they confiscated the phone for evidence. So
Okay.
she has not had a phone since March of 2023.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time for somebody that age that has their own little child, to
Hmm.
not have a phone.
Correct. So her and Michael, of course, were always, hand in hand together. So because they were always together, they shared a phone,
Okay.
and they were always together. So, you know, um, it, that was the whole reason why I guess she never got a phone. But if we knew as parents that she did not have a phone like that, we would have, of course, got her a phone. But Layla,
I told Jen she should at least got her a welfare phone. I mean, like, come on.
at least,
Hey,
guide her in
George.
the direction.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, it could be better.
Oh, I'm
But,
sure.
you know, Layla, she didn't want to disappoint us, because she was always about wanting to make us proud, and not wanting to hurt us. So we knew, that Layla had her issues and, problem with drugs, and it wasn't long. Layla is not this, drug addict, mother that some people portray her to be. Like I said, it was just an unfortunate situation where, she got herself tangled up with the wrong guy, that she thought that, she was going to be with and such. But that same guy, said, Layla, you got to get your shit together. And ever since then, which was that day, it was, she
How
went off
long has she had she been with Michael?
2 years, a little over 2 years now. And it was about a
Okay.
year and a half that, is when we really started to notice, a lot of changing.
Well, we just found out. We just found out recently Michael's house was basically a trap house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
And
been by that house. I drove over to Kingsport, I don't know, a couple of Fridays ago. And, the neighborhood is, an older neighborhood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the house now, I don't know if it did at one time. It's got a sign on the front that says keep out. So I got a feeling they've probably been harassed since all this has
Oh,
happened.
yeah. Absolutely. And the mother actually is not, well. She's got brain damage, and she's just
Oh,
not.
so
She's
his
really
his
not
mom lives
there.
there too? I didn't know
That's
that. I didn't know the
Michael's
mom
mother.
lived
Yeah.
there.
They rent.
Yes, Michael's. I don't know if they rent or own, but Michael's family lives there. The brother's paraplegic. It's Michael, the paraplegic brother. The mother. I don't know if there is a father. There might be, and a sister that comes and goes. There
Wow,
could be
that
more
house
to the
is
family,
small.
but I know. Well, you know what? What really breaks my heart is that Layla has such, a big heart, and she's very kind hearted and will, give the shirt off her back.
Don't let her lean
But
over.
she, was always given a problem, when she was there. Like, they did not want her there whatsoever. I don't know why, but they just would literally put up a terrible fight, and, actually assaulted our daughter about 3 or 4 times,
Oh my
just
gosh.
because she was there. Right. And it's heartbreaking when your hands are tied, and we're here in New Jersey and she's there in Tennessee,
Right.
and I can't obviously throw her over my shoulders and get her in the car, and I had to respect the fact that she loved this guy, as much as she did, and wanted it to
Well,
work,
her being the age she is, I mean, the minute that you try to say you can't, you can't, you can't, she will.
Right.
And
Yeah.
she'll go after it even harder the minute you say
Exactly.
you can't do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
but
and
what I don't get is if Jen seen how bad my daughter's well-being was, why wouldn't she act on it? Why wouldn't she call Tennessee, have her
or
locked
have
up,
us
so she'd go into a
reach
program
out to
or
us,
reach out to me and tell me, like,
because she would reach out to us, for anything else if it had to do with
Yeah, her being
financials.
over 18, I don't know how much involvement, the state would have done
tell her what to
since
do.
she is an adult. But like you said, she could have reached out to you. And I mean, if
Right.
nothing else, you could have come down here and checked
Yeah,
Right.
it out.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, I've been a part of this family now for 5 years, and the first, moment that I met, or spoke with Jen, it was, Layla was only, 14 at the time, just getting ready to turn 15. It was end of July. And it was 2019, 18, 18. And
Well, I've
so,
got a question too. I mean, there's different things out there about her actual last known location. Was it at
Yes.
that house? Was it at the mall? Was
no,
it at
there's
that
no more.
The
Oh,
hotel?
normal.
well,
It was at the
so she was, in fact, yes, at, the Americorps. So there is, she was at the Americorps. She left the Americorps. The reason why she left there was because she was chased off the property by employees at that property because she was visiting a friend and it was his uncle. And because it was the uncle's room, and I guess no visitors or whatnot. I don't know how the policy goes. They chased Layla off the property, but Layla was running because I guess she heard that the cops were going to be called, because I want to clarify that Layla, in fact, thought she had warrants for her arrest because of her mother. And
So she wasn't running from danger.
no, she was not running from danger. No,
See,
she
that's
was
what's been
not.
put out there.
No, there
No,
was
she
no
wasn't. She
danger
was running. Her
from
mother
the
had
law.
said that she had warrant
Warrants.
for arrest,
So she wouldn't show
so
to
she wouldn't
family
show up
court.
for a family court so she could custody
Okay,
of my
gotcha.
granddaughter.
Okay, and that was one of my questions that I had because there was on the original GoFundMe with Layla's mom, there was something about a custody hearing. And so
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
was
She went
curious
after my
about.
daughter. She went after my daughter for custody of my granddaughter. She was more worried about that than my daughter's well-being.
Okay, so the custody was between Layla and her mom.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and I do have a question. There's actually quite a few questions in the chat. One of them being this is kind of a two-part question. Was the boyfriend questioned, and was the house that Ellie searched, does that
Yes,
have anything
it
to
was
do with
Yes,
searched.
him?
It
yes.
was searched, and
Once,
he was interviewed and questioned and everything else.
a couple times.
Yeah, a couple
Because
times.
once the Holly Bobo Act kicked in, and our detective filled out, the application actually for Layla to see if she qualified, because the Holly Bobo Act is for young endangered adults. And that's not just for, like, a missing persons. It actually intensifies the alert and it makes it become something. So she was able to qualify for that. So once that kicked in, TBI got highly, highly involved. And once, some information came through and they were involved and more resources opened, they, hours. So, and they polygraphed him, and, through the questions that, was asked, he passed.
Yeah, I'm taking Jen to court. I'm definitely going after her. That's a given. I've already got a lawyer set in place. So.
And there was another question. And again, you may not know the answer to this,
Mhm.
but the question is, why didn't Layla's mom at least let you both know that she didn't have a phone since March?
I don't even
I
have the
couldn't even
answer
tell you
to
why
that.
she wouldn't tell me. It's unbelievable, and I flipped out on her about it. I was extremely upset with her about it. I said, you couldn't even take 5 minutes out of your time to apply online, not even leave your house, just apply online for a welfare phone to be mailed to your house so our daughter can have some sort of we can
Ways
reach
of
her.
communication.
Ways of
She does have a
communication,
child,
text
so
messages.
if she's ever in emergency, she needs to be able to reach somebody. But because maybe Jen always had the baby because that's how she wanted it, she felt the
Wasn't worried
need.
about the phone.
Right.
Yeah.
She wasn't worried because she felt, well, she has all the, responsibilities on her hands, so she doesn't really need a phone for any emergencies.
Yeah. And then I
That's
had
just what I would assume, in this situation. Again, that's not, something that was said. That's just an assumption.
Okay, where was Layla actually physically living when
She,
she went missing?
She was living with the boyfriend.
yes, in
Okay, so she
Kingsport.
was living then on Dale Street.
Yes, with the
Yes,
Oh,
boyfriend.
geez. Okay.
yes.
And then she got kicked out. I guess the boyfriend kicked her out. He
No,
was
well, they
they
got into
were
a little
originally
disagreement or whatnot.
he was originally living with her until the grandmother kicked him out of the trailer. She bought a trailer for her, and then I guess Michael and just wasn't paying, and
They weren't
they were just
being
weren't doing what
responsible
they were supposed to be doing. So Barbara obviously kicked them out, sold
because
the trailer,
it was,
which left my daughter with no option but
be homeless in a way.
to be
Yeah, there's
homeless.
somebody been putting out information that Layla had actually been staying at that Americorps like for days. Right.
She, well, the Americorps, she was only there for about a day. She, was in fact, like I said, moving from place to place. Because again, she thought she had warrants. She already felt her three main, people like turn, their back against her in a way. At least that's how Layla was feeling, between
Right.
the mom taking, full custody and control over Nova Grace, and then the grandmother, pursuing charges on her, for an incident that they had. And then the boyfriend saying, hey, the only reason why you're here is because, you say you have nowhere else to go. So I feel bad for you. But you have to get your shit together in the meantime. So, coming from somebody, that, thought that you loved and vice versa, she just went, she just left. What else? What
Well,
did you
let me
expect her
ask
to
you
do?
this. Was the relationship between Jennifer and Layla at a point to where Layla could not go and stay with Jennifer?
Yes. So, yes, she was not allowed to. She did allow them to, in fact, to come stay with her since they, were having such issues on places to go and such. So they, she did allow them to, she did allow them to come stay with them, one time, but, things did not go, accordingly. Things were going missing, they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. And we do have to be mindful of, Nova Grace and her well being, of course. So I can understand where Jen comes into play as, being overly protective, for Nova, because at the end of the day, who else would have been at that moment?
Right.
So we are highly grateful for that and for her, to be able to do that, because at the end of the day, where would have she been if she hadn't done that,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Well,
Yeah, I would hate the thought of her being in state custody.
I would have
Well,
left New Jersey, but I'm going for my granddaughter too because I'm worried about her well being too, being in the custody of
well,
Jen's hands.
and also she's, it's very upsetting when, I have helped her, Jennifer, numerous times, just out of the kindness of my heart, and always made sure, Layla was good, Nova was good, and everybody else was good, and didn't need or want for anything, of course.
Raylan.
And so it's very upsetting when we ask for the same in return out of respect, when it comes to involvement, she just doesn't decide to do that,
Have
and
you all been down here since Layla disappeared?
yes, we were down there. We came down, it was August 3rd we left. And we were down there till Tuesday. So it was that Thursday, and we were there till after Tuesday. We came and we wanted to check out the area. Um, my Her father went to the vigil that was held that Jennifer actually planned, and
That I didn't want to go to.
that we were actually not included in. It's not that he didn't want to go to it. It was more hurtful that he wasn't, or we were not included in planning, all this, because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for us pushing this story, filing the missing persons report, you know she probably wouldn't have even done that. But because now that she has eyes on her and she sees the benefits that she can reap from this, that's why she's now, engaging and posting and going on social media platforms. And
Yeah, she's on TikTok quite a bit.
Blogging.
now she is.
Yeah.
I mean, she was doing just workout videos, but check out when she started to, actually post. Like, even when Layla first went missing,
There was a lot of people
Jen
mad at my
came out to
family
New
because she
Jersey,
was out here.
and it was only 2 weeks of Layla, not even of her being missing, and she was out here in New Jersey with, and her excuse was, well, I brought the baby to see you and your family. Well, that could have waited, and everybody would have totally understood, because this is
Yeah,
where
I
you
heard they
need.
went to Dollywood and stuff too.
Yes, she did. She also went to New York City.
She got tattoos on her.
Yes. Oh, and she's also back in New Jersey now again because Nova Grace has been here, and
Where's she
we
come up with all this
were
money?
not allowed to even see our grandbaby, but we saw her when Jen brought her here the first time. But like
Wow.
I said, when money got involved, and again, it all started when I got shirts made because I finally got Channel 10 News, it was Channel 7, Kingsport Times. I started getting a bunch of media outlets responding back to me after hounding them. And, finally got through. I said, let's get some shirts made up and we'll wear them for the interview. And then, people started asking, oh, how do we get a shirt? And then the woman that created our shirts said, oh, how about I will charge 25 a shirt, and every $5 shirt that's sold will, go towards a foundation for Layla. So that's how everything got started, with foundations and such. And so that's how that began. And we were going to move forward with it because there were a lot of people, in fact, wanting a shirt. But, then Jen, in fact, decided to run with her own thing with the shirts and do that own fundraiser when we asked, to be involved. It's fine. Listen, we're all about more the better. Okay. But let's do it together like we've been, just include us, as a whole, like we've been. But because she didn't want to do the same in return, she just totally blocked us out in all way you can think of. And now we're just
The
paying
minute I
for it
told her I wanted to see,
financially, mentally.
because she's had friends and family of mine that, because I have an extremely big family that I guess have donated money or whatever to search my door. And when I said I want to see proof, I want to tag the team in there, and all about, I want to see proof, I want to tag the search team in there so they know what's going on. They see,
because Jen knew about the
they
private
see
investigator that
we're
found.
trying to fund, the search and all that. And as soon as I said that, she blocked me. As soon as I said I want to see proof, she was like, "Screw that," and blocked me.
Yep.
All right, and we have. I'm sorry, we have a lot of questions. My one question again, and I just want to remind everybody this is about Layla.
Yes.
When
Not about a fundraiser.
When was she reported missing? Like, what was the actual date?
I called. I believe it was what, the 26th.
We called the 25th. It was the 24th into the 25th because we called.
Yeah, it was like
at midnight,
11:40 something
when
at night.
we decided, because we were deliberating, and I said, you know what? I looked at you and I said, I don't want to wait. It's not settling.
Yeah, she wanted me to wait because she was going to court within 2 days. Within 2 days. At this point, it was already 2 days.
2 days.
So I'm like, well, screw this. I'm not waiting for you to try to take my daughter to court to get custody of my granddaughter to report her missing. And at this point, it was already 2 days. So I'm like, well, something's wrong. She's not reaching out. So I can't get a hold of her. So I called and I made a police report. And
Well, do you know if Layla had any friends or anything out of state that she might have got a ride?
The problem is with my daughter, if she was around, she would call me. My daughter would call me real quick
and let you know where she is.
Yeah, she would call me and tell me where she's at. She'd ask me for help. I've always helped her.
Yep.
I've been helping my child her whole life. Jen don't give her money like I did. She'll call me, Dad, let me get 200, let me get 300. I give it to her no problem if she needed, like if I had proof, but
we were not enabling.
I wasn't enabling her.
That was when, you know, she was doing the right thing, you know, and becoming a new mother. You know, she was doing those things, you know, working, cleaning. You know, she actually liked doing the hotel cleaning, you know, and she was big into that for some reason. But she, you know, would always, she would call, but she was doing the right thing. But once, you know, we knew she wasn't, that's when we had to give the tough love. You know, we couldn't, you know, we couldn't enable her because I didn't want it to be our $40 or $20 to take our daughter out. I wouldn't be able to live with that.
She calls us for her birthday, usually a month before, because we usually give her about $300-400 every year for her birthday, but we don't give it to her all in one shot. So she calls us the month before, and we start giving her payments, like every
2
couple weeks. Yeah, we give her payments until she's paid off. Well, she has not even reached out to me for that.
Well,
That's what's telling me something's wrong.
Do you know if any of the professional search organizations have been contacted, like EquiSearch and all those?
I'm gonna try to get on Real News, Max News.
I'm not familiar with Texas EquiSearch. I'm not familiar with
Yeah,
that.
EquiSearch had actually been in the area before 2 years ago with the
Mm-hmm.
disappearance of another child from that area. So they
Okay.
are they do it on donations only. I think it's a organization, and they'll come out and they're very organized to
Okay.
help search. I don't know if anybody's contacted them or not.
No, we haven't contacted anybody. We've been trying to do more footwork on like detective work and people like calling, figuring out who she was with last. You know,
Trying to get more of the
we're doing
pieces
more
put
detective
to the
work
puzzle that's missing because somebody
somebody
knows something, you
Now,
know.
have you found out anything at all from the PI that, is shareable, or is
Well,
everything still under wraps right now?
um, well, I mean, I can. It really all depends. I mean, so I mean, ultimately, RPI has been putting, you know, some of the things that were, you know, missing to the puzzle, like how she got from, you know, said friend's house to the Americorps, and how did she get to, you know, the Americorps to the marble slab, and that's where we figured out, you know, that, you know, from her going to the Americorps to the marble slab, is that being her very last location at the marble slab ice cream place, you know, where she was at. That's how we found out, you know, the information and, you know, putting more pieces to the puzzle because ultimately a PI is not law enforcement. So, you know, you just might, depending on how, you know, they come and associate or talk to, you know, the people that were involved with Layla, you know, they could feel, in fact, comfortable, you know, and speaking with her. And, you know, that's what we are and all hoping for, you know,
Right.
that somebody is comfortable to say something, you know, and it's been working slowly but surely. I just think in time, when the time is right, the truth will truly unravel. Um, but, you
And
know,
so
only
I
time
have
will tell.
my question is, because there was a lot of confusion with dates. So if you called, really like, we'll say the 25th, because it was close to midnight,
Mhm.
what has the private investigator, does law enforcement know where was she from the 25th to when she was seen on the 27th at
Yeah.
that marble slab?
Yes, they
She
do.
was at a lady named Jen's
She
house,
was
right?
at, so first from leaving Michael's house, she left Michael's because again they had their little disagreement. Layla went to a friend's house, and from there she was waiting to be picked up to leave Jen's house, and this is at like 4:30 in the morning.
There was another girl
And
there.
so supposedly Michael was supposed to be showing up there to pick her up because she in fact asked him to. But by the time he got there, she was already gone, and we couldn't figure out, who she was with and who she got that ride from. I mean, there has been a lot of information that's been put together, because that's where we had last. That's all we knew was she was at a Jen's house, and that was it. So from Jen, she got a ride to the Americorps, to be with friends, and to still be away from the boyfriend. And then she was, running off the property because she heard about, cops coming. And yes, she did, run through the patch of woods. I did see somebody in the chat asking about, taking the woods as, a theory. Yes, she has, and she did. And she took the Greenbelt Trail where the East Commons Plaza is, where she was last seen, which was in the back of, I guess, the Commons area where she was coming from the trail through the field. There was a gentleman that did, in
The old
fact,
man
see
seen her
her.
come out of the field. She had dirt on her shoulder. She was all discombobulated. Didn't know what was going on, obviously. Stumbled away, asked for a cigarette, didn't get a cigarette, stumbled away, and was going towards the ice cream slab, right?
She went to the ice cream
She
slab.
did go
A
to the
woman
ice cream
stopped,
slab, yeah.
and she, gave her nourishment and, drink and ice cream, whatnot. And, was having a conversation with her and was talking to her and asked her, where are your shoes? And because she didn't have any shoes on, for a couple of days. Because again, remember, she was chased, she ran, off the property from the motel because, again, she thought the cops were coming. So that is why she didn't have any shoes on. So she went to go get herself shoes at Five Below, which Five Below is like right across the way from the marble slab in the plaza. And she did not make it to the Five Below. And she, never got her shoes.
So just
Yeah, the marble slab is at one end of that shopping center,
Yeah,
and
I don't understand how
Five
they don't have
Below is up
cameras.
at the other end of it. It's quite a ways to walk, but
Yeah.
so what two things. First is, what happened that warned you that Layla should be reported missing? Like, what was it that caused you to do that?
I tried reaching out to her several times, too.
First, yes, but when I got the message from Jen, she shared, the information from Michael saying, that something's wrong. I haven't talked to Layla in like 24 hours, and I haven't seen her, and I'm always with her, which is accurate. Yes, they are always together, but remember, you were the one, that told her she just had to get her shit together. So, what did you expect? So, um, we were going off of his energy the whole time because, he was insinuating that something was wrong, and I'm like, why would he be, in fact, thinking that something is wrong with her, So I said, well, it can't hurt, and she's not answering us, so why not, let's just be, proactive and, call. We did speak with Jennifer and, gave her our thoughts, in the matter and said what we wanted to do. And she, basically said, I know my daughter, you guys basically don't. And she's very smart, and she, will, come around. But whatever makes you guys feel better, and gave us the thumbs up. And I'm like, all right, well, I wasn't, going to wait. And so, again, with Michael acting the way that he was, insinuating something was very wrong, we again just wanted to take action just in case something was wrong. And sure enough, there is something wrong.
And someone asked, with Layla not having a phone, how did she communicate with you?
So she was on Messenger.
Okay, Facebook Messenger.
She was on Facebook Messenger, yes, through boyfriend, phone once she lost her phone. They shared a phone, and she would use her Facebook Messenger because, again, she didn't have a phone number, so she would use her Facebook Messenger login to, other people's accounts and, other phones and stuff to, be able to get a hold of people. But again, she didn't have to do that with everybody because she had, Michael's phone the whole time because they were always together.
And what was the last day that you spoke with Layla? Do you remember?
Oh, yes, of course. We spoke to her, all the time, just, because we were miles away, we still had and shared, a very good relationship with everybody, with each other. And,
Somebody had said that
we,
when
yeah,
she went into the marble slab, that she had asked to use their phone. Is that true?
uh, no, nobody, no, I don't know, a woman, somebody's asking that somebody said about using a phone. No, that's not accurate about her asking to use a phone at a marble slab.
Yeah, that's been put out by several different people.
No, yeah, no,
Never
not that,
heard of that.
no,
We didn't hear of that.
not that we're aware of her asking to use a phone, because of course I'm sure she would have. She would have used one. I would have thought she would have asked, and that's what we were hoping. Like, in her right mind, she would have asked.
We were hoping that somebody called the
You know,
police,
but we also have to remember Layla was not in her normal state of mind. Layla was on, a bad drug. Drugs are all bad, but I guess fentanyl is, a whole nother ball game, and it definitely, takes away your character and such, and changes you all around. So we have to keep in mind, that we're not dealing with, our daughter that's, the one that's on her shit. We're dealing with somebody that's broken, hurt, and going through, life, and just doesn't know how to, in fact, handle it.
When was the last time anyone heard Layla's voice and not through Facebook Messenger?
It was Jennifer. It was, I want to say it was that Friday. So
Jen talked to her before court.
Well, yeah, but no, we're talking about before we actually reported her missing. So I want to say it was the 23rd of June, and we talked to her that Thursday, that Wednesday, that Thursday.
Jen wasn't worried about it because she's like, oh, well, she just does this sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
Jen said that,
no,
there's been times that she, hasn't spoken to her, at, a week or two at a time, which I've never, heard of. I mean, but, I can see them go through their differences and stuff.
She's always called us.
Yeah.
She'd always call us on FaceTime just because she wanted to see our face.
And our siblings.
Yeah, so we'd always talk on FaceTime, or she would come on the vacation or weekend, summer or holidays.
Yeah.
She's originally from New Jersey. She was born in Jersey Shore Hospital, so she's from New Jersey. My daughter is. So.
How long has she been in Tennessee?
Well, she went from New Jersey to Florida to Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in Florida for a couple years, and then went from Florida to Tennessee.
Oh, I see somebody saying is concerned that she wouldn't venture far from her source with an opiate addiction.
No.
Yet no one has seen her. But she's right. Yes, she wouldn't venture off.
No.
But, she was, in fact, going in between, getting her fixtures. But at that moment in time when the, gentleman saw her, she was looking, disheveled.
Slept in the woods overnight, maybe.
looked like she was in a withdrawal, and that's why we know she did not make it to go where she normally would go to get her drugs, and she didn't make it to the Five Below. So
Somebody had found a comforter and stuff in the woods and
yes,
claiming that that's where Layla was
no,
staying. It was her
No.
camp.
no. I actually I saw, I guess, Bullhorn Betty when she did her, little search or whatnot.
Right.
She found some new evidence.
I don't
It's
like
not
that.
new by any means. We were well aware of that evidence 3 days, 4 days into our daughter being missing through stand up everyday citizens that were, helping out of the kindness of their hearts to look, at the trail and, see if they could see anything. And we were sent pictures.
I guess this lady
And
thinks
it's not her stuff.
She talks to the detective more than I do, I guess, huh?
And we have a question of, does she have any tattoos or markings that would be significant?
Yes, she
Yes,
does.
yes.
So she has Nova Grace on her outside of her forearm. It's her left one. She has Roman numerals on her, like, is her collarbone on the left side. And she has, like, it looks like a dream catcher type with other, like, flowers and such on her inner forearm, and that's the same arm that says Nova Grace.
Yeah, she got like another one or two, right?
And
down lower.
Well, the Roman numerals, no, that's it. Just the Roman numerals, Nova Grace.
Yeah.
And the one that has, like, the dream catcher.
I tell you what, when I left New Jersey to go to Tennessee to meet the detective and talk to the detective, and I seen Jen in 90-degree weather with sweatpants and a sweatshirt on, I just thought it was kind of odd. With her hood up.
Before Layla turned 18, of course she's 21 now, but growing up, was she close with her mom? Did they have a pretty good
They
relationship?
did,
Yeah,
yes,
they were
yes,
close.
they did have a good relationship
Really good.
overall, but that's only because Jen gave her a lot of leeway and let her do whatever she wanted.
Yeah.
Because Jen already considered her a lost cause when she was 14 years old. Because when I came in the picture when she was that age, and I said to Jen myself, I will, like, let us take her and, get her out of Kingsport, get her out of Tennessee, bring her around the whole family where she belongs. I think she would have a better upbringing and a better life. But and her words were, oh, well, if you think you can do, or if you think you can try, I guess be my guest, basically, if you can do what I can't do, essentially. But unfortunately, we never got that opportunity to be able to do that because COVID happened, and,
Well, what about Jennifer's boyfriend? Did he get along with Layla?
I mean, Opie was only involved with Jen for about, since COVID is when they actually got involved. It's only been like 3 years they've been involved.
He's never had a problem with it. I don't really know Opie like that.
He seems like a good guy from, overall, from like what we've met.
Do I think they're hanging out and partying? Yes, I do.
But like I said, we met him only like about 2-3 times, 4 times actually.
Yeah, my mother's house and our house.
Yeah, and then in Tennessee again.
Yeah.
But I mean, he doesn't come off as, like an aggressor or anything. He's pretty laid back overall, and I can say he is good with Nova.
Okay. And speaking of Nova, there is a question. Is the current boyfriend the father of Nova Grace? And if not, were there any issues?
He's not involved because he ended up getting in trouble with some gangbangers, supposedly, my granddaughter's father.
But he's coming home.
He ended up going to jail because he was accused of doing something he didn't do.
He was accused for murder, and
there wasn't murder, but it wasn't him.
It was not him. He did not commit the murder. And there were people that were lying on him and they, like, I guess became co-defendants and whatnot, but the truth was revealed, and it was in fact not him. And I just, when I did hear that happened, I just couldn't believe it.
We were felt bad.
There was just no way that I could see him doing such a thing, because he definitely doesn't come off as that at all. But I think it was just more so the wrong place and wrong time. He's got some proving to do before
he gets her back anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
He's got a lot of proving to do to the courts before he gets her back.
But it's just good to know that she does in fact have her father in her life.
Yes, which is a blessing.
Because she was about to not have both of them, in this meantime of frame, and that's, devastating.
And so someone in chat actually had the same question as me when you had mentioned she was at the Americorps and she was afraid because she thought there were warrants out for her arrest. Do you think she could have thought her life was in danger and ran because of that? Or would she just take off?
I thought she ran because of the warrant.
No.
More in lines because she thought she had a warrant for arrest and she was going to go to jail, and she's
never been in trouble.
She's been in trouble
as
a juvenile.
Yeah, but she's never been in jail, like adult jail. She's never been arrested as an adult. She's never
being sick doesn't mix. So
no, and scared of going through withdrawal, and those are the things that she's scared of. So I don't. Again, as far as like her being in danger, no, I don't believe so, and it didn't exhibit like that.
But once
either.
She went missing, it's a possibility. Now
she was banging on doors because she was trying to hide out into somebody's room.
Let me tell you something. 600 children. 600 children a month go missing out of Tennessee every month. There's 150. It's $150 billion industry, the second biggest in the world. So that's something to think about. 600 children every month. So I think my daughter, I don't want to believe she's dead. I think she could be held up and need help right now.
And someone had asked, do you think...
That's what I'm trying for. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get her the help she needs.
Someone had asked, do you think that she's possibly on a bender or in some type of mental health crisis?
A bender, yes, but they only go so far and they only go so long. Because, again, she don't have money. She doesn't work.
I've always been her main source.
We were her main sources of income, along with many others, so she would have called, in fact, somebody, at some point, because money, again, only goes so long. And that's what we were hoping when we first, were facing this, was that.
Who misses their 21st birthday with one of the biggest families in New Jersey? Nobody.
Yeah. So as more days started to tack on, it just became more of a like, there's like just something not right.
So with that being said, do you believe that Layla may have thought her life was in danger and went into hiding?
I think she could have, but
anything's a possibility at this point.
She could have went and hiding, but by now she would have been fully capable of getting to her phone and reaching out.
Yeah, just like she was at the market.
Logging into her, get to her phone and log into her account, or even call the police. Okay. And say, listen, I need you to get a hold of my mother or my father.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the CashApp transactions that had been sent
to my wife's phone? Yeah, it got sent to my wife's phone.
They were my transactions, and boy, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Take your time.
When I got the first message, in request of like $99, which was so random, and it just said 4, and it was just like dot dot dot, and I was just like, I just won't forget it. I looked at my husband and I said, let's go take the kids to Chuck E. Cheese, and because we got to give them some type of normalcy too, and so we were just walking in and that came up on my phone and I'm like, holy shit, like what? And then I started to interact. I paid money to get information to see if it was her. And once I started to ask questions, like that I knew that she would have the answers to, I just knew that it wasn't her. But
Oh, so you
the
thought it
cash
was
apps went
from
on for a
you
while.
thought that was a request from Layla?
At first, I did, like, because in the beginning, um, you know, I didn't know what to believe. Like, I can't tell you all the thoughts. I can tell you all the theories. I went from maybe, somebody does have her hostage, maybe somebody is, on her, cash app, because they don't want to get in trouble. And yeah, we do live in a sick world.
I
And,
think somebody's.
maybe she does owe a lousy $100 to somebody and, they're in need desperately and whatever.
I personally think somebody's got her.
But, I don't know.
She needs help.
So,
I think she needs help.
But then I also thought, well, man, you know, maybe she's capitalizing the situation. Maybe it's in fact Layla requesting money, and does she even know we're looking for her? Does she, I don't know, like maybe she's, taking advantage of this because her mother led me believing that, it was Layla potentially capitalizing the situation, taking advantage of, her being missing, and just so she can get money out of, whomever, because she was missing and thought maybe, she could get more money because she's out of money. Her mother literally led me to believe, that it was in fact, potentially Layla, and then the detective was even believing that. And he's like, let's put an end to this bullshit right now, and then we just had to wait and we, couldn't find out, right away. And it took time, and then just more information came in and then things were like, oh, but then I started to think, well, because that's all I can do during this, time is think of every theory and possibility.
There's a
And
little bit
I
of
thought it was the
confusion.
boyfriend. What?
Yeah, there's a little bit of confusion about the doors that she was knocking on. Is that there at that motel?
Yep. Yes, it was the Americorps. So she was knocking on doors, to ask to be basically hidden out in their room. Actually, one of the people that is staying there reached out to me personally and said she was, in fact, one of the people's doors she knocked on. And so, she was trying to go into, a room to hide because she knew that the cops were coming, but wasn't successful. And took off into the woods and then actually stayed in the field and in the woods over by the Greenbelt that night. And then that morning went to the marble slab. So.
And were the cash apps before or after she went missing? They were after, correct?
After, correct, yes. And people, I do want to clarify, people are, going back and forth of the, the abbreviations in one of the cash apps of saying like they will let me go or they will not let me go, but it's they won't let me go is what, is being meant. And, while I was receiving the Cash App requests, what was odd is I was on the phone with Michael, the boyfriend, and, I just, after thinking it over and over and over in time, it just came to me like, how in the world, like, I'm getting these abbreviations sent to me. I can't figure that out in like an instance, but, you know, he knew what the abbreviations were as soon as I said them. So I'm like, how would you know, like that so quickly? But we did, in fact, later find out that it was Michael.
And have local law enforcement been helpful to your families?
Yes, our detective has been phenomenal, honestly. He's really, honestly, been doing a lot of effort. Our detective has been great. The only reason why we did get a PI is because, again, we want more answers just like any other parent would. And it's never going to be enough, for any parent as till it's, in fact, the job is done with. But more hands on and more eyes to things are better, So that's the reason why we went with, a PI on top of having, the detective that we have.
Yeah, Detective Claire's awesome too. Detective Claire has done a lot of work for us.
Where is the boyfriend now? Is he...
I
He's
don't know.
home.
He doesn't have my daughter on his Facebook no more. Got rid of her and the baby real quick. I think he knows something too, but he's not saying nothing. I don't know. Well, he took a lie detector test and passed. So I don't know. I don't know. I just hope that we can find her safe. That's all. And the more people I get on deck to help me search for my daughter, the better off I am.
So what does everybody, I mean, what kind of help do you need right now? As far
I
as
need
getting the word out, just everybody sharing
Well,
her information.
I'd like to try to get her on Real News, Max News or something. I'd like to try to get her up there to so more people can see that she's missing.
maybe we could get, another professional to see or get on board, but,
I don't know. We're gonna be going back out to Tennessee once I do a couple jobs and catch up on some bills here.
yeah, because financially we,
We're behind a little bit.
invested
I haven't been able
everything into this.
I haven't been able to work right, and I'm the breadwinner of my family. I haven't been able to think right, sleep right, eat right since I've been going through this. So it's been a little difficult for me to even.
Oh,
And
I'm sure it
I'm a
has.
builder. I'm a builder. I've been building houses for 25 years. So it's hard for me to go and talk to customers and this and that at this point in time with what I'm going through.
Right.
So, I mean, and I have 5 children that I love dearly that need me too. I have a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 10-year-old, my 16-year-old daughter, and then Layla. So, I mean, I got my hands full here.
And did Michael tell you he passed the lie detector test, or was that law enforcement who informed
So
you?
it was both. It was both. The analysis report came back. It was all well and good. So, but Michael did tell us too. But they do have other things in the works that they are, looking into.
We obviously can't talk about it right now to nobody,
Right.
because it's an investigation.
Right.
Oh, there is 4 other things lined up right now.
Yeah.
That we're waiting on. So.
But once we do get, the okay, we'll definitely, let everybody know for sure.
Right now, I can't talk about it, but once he gives me the okay, I'll let everybody know.
All right. So with that, is there anything? And actually, there's a lot of confusion about the Cash Apps. A lot of people are still asking about Michael.
How did this person get your Cash App name?
Because I already sent money.
We've sent my daughter thousands of dollars throughout the year. That's how.
Yeah.
He logged into my daughter's Facebook.
And Cash App.
Because he had all her information.
Oh, okay.
And then my daughter sent me, I'm thinking it's my daughter, like, oh, my daughter, let me do whatever she needs done, and it's somebody else.
Yeah.
So he should have to pay for that too, for the threats and all that too. So.
And listen, that's not really the our main concern right now. But at the end of the day, what I can say is I understand he has a very bad addiction, and I understand that he is definitely not in the right and not in right's way by any means, and in hopes that maybe down the road he can get himself right and get himself together.
If anybody that's listening that has young children that have a phone, make sure your children have a backup battery charger pack in their book bag in case their phone dies. That's extremely important.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, is there anything else that you'd want us to know? I think you've answered all of my questions. I don't know. I don't see any other questions in the chat.
Okay.
So, is there anything else that you'd like to say about Layla?
We're not gonna give up. We're gonna continue to look for her and spread awareness.
Yep, and
no matter what it takes.
we do have a GoFundMe for her that we are.
You set yours up first, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
it
did.
was set up.
It was set up on our behalf.
A week before Jen tried to.
Yeah, it was actually probably longer than a week. And yes, it was a woman that I worked with in addiction and mental health agencies, and she, started it on our behalf because, again, we have been so dedicated, into this, from day one, from picking up the phone, to the emails, to endless phone calls. And I know, listen, that doesn't cost money. I get it.
Friends of my daughters, friends of the boyfriends, friends of everybody. Like,
there is a lot of people.
We've been through so much in these past almost 70 days going on. You wouldn't even believe it. Have your head spinning.
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of people that have helped, and the least that we can do, is try to give back in some ways, like, when they do ground searches, and that's something I also want to clarify with.
Oh, yes. And there was a question about the searches in chat. Is there, in fact, a search party? And then also, has law enforcement searched everywhere they feel necessary at this moment?
So
no, they're not done
they
searching.
are not done searching. They have searched about 60% of a 320-acre perimeter, where she was, by the marble slab in the woods and the trail at that time. But due to there being so much water from the rain, they could not complete it. We did speak with the detective in regards to the search. Now, we can't, just go searching for somebody, or put a search team together to go search for somebody, especially when there's an open investigation. There are proper steps that you have to take, because I know a lot of people say, why haven't you gone and searched and, family gone themselves or friends or whatever? Because we need to have a referral through the sheriff's department in order to go ahead and do something like that. Because of, again, evidence, liabilities, and such. So that is, in fact, very necessary. You cannot, in fact, just take it upon yourself to do.
Yeah, there's somebody on here that thinks you can.
No, you can't. You can get in trouble for interference with an open investigation, especially when that location is being investigated through drones and high equipment through underwater that TBI is,
EMI and all that,
using at this time, since they cannot do a proper ground search. And as I was saying before, our PI is a pro bono because she is in Tennessee and our case is in Tennessee. And she has been very correspondent with our detective and has been, collaborating together in this case.
That's the one that the fundraiser that Jen claims to be
Yes,
right now.
and Jen was highly aware of the detective when I first found her.
Wow.
You know, because it actually almost damaged our PI. You know, we almost lost our PI, honestly, because she said, you know, who did you wind up hiring? You know, why is there so much, you know, in betweens, you know, why, you know, because we can't have all these PIs on, you know, a case like this. You have one and one, and, you know, then it would be a lot of correspondence and such. And then that means we wouldn't be able to correspond with our, you know, PI anymore. And just a lot of, you know, mess would have gotten into the mix, and that would have prolonged, you know, a lot of things, and it just wouldn't be right and fair when we already, in fact, you know, had this PI lined up. Jen, in fact, knew, you know, what was going on, and, you know, she knew, you know, what was, in fact, like I said, you know, who she was, what was going on, since we got her and found her.
We looked her up first. We looked her up first before we decided to take her on.
And checked her license.
Yes.
And, you know, all of her qualifications and everything. And she, you know, pans out, obviously. You know, but the only time any money would come involved with the PI is doing ground searches, because there is, again, equipment that's needed, referrals, you know. You also got to think, you know, people need to eat and drink too, you know. So this is why we wanted to, you know, put something together,
Tag
you know,
a team in it or something,
and be able to give back in some way, you know, to help expand Layla's search and get as many as people as we can on board, you know, to find her and, you know, look for her, because that part does cost money, you know. But on top of, yes, you know, we live in New Jersey, so it is very costly to, you know, do this, you know, driving back and forth from New Jersey to Tennessee and Tennessee and back with, you know, 4 kids and, you know,
Well,
5.
you know, when y'all come back down here, that you know, I
Yeah,
will
we are coming back.
gladly meet you in Kingsport. And, you know, I'm not going to film anything. None of this will be for content. This is to meet with you and help you figure out something if we can, you
Yes,
know,
all
to
right. Yep.
find Layla. This is not content. This is to help you find your daughter.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Everything
thank you.
everything counts.
And a couple of people wanted to know, with the PI, does she inform both you and Jennifer
Yes.
the
Yes.
information?
Well, yeah,
As of now, I believe
she
she
does.
does tell her.
Because she did ask me, you know, or how did she want to go about it? You know, I said, because she was aware of our situation, you know, did she want us to just, you know, correspond, you know, and just telling her? Because that's how it's been. I have been the one that has been leading, you know, the way and stuff.
What
But
everybody wants to know is, why does Jennifer need to get another PI?
she
We
doesn't, and
don't,
she's
and
not.
she better not.
She doesn't have any
She
intentions.
better not get another PI
She
involved
That's
doesn't.
what
my
this
daughter's
money
case.
is.
With my daughter's case, because I've already had one set up.
Well, you know, a certain creator is begging for money to get a PI for Jennifer.
Yeah, well then she shouldn't be.
Well, yeah. Well, I did
I don't
notice
know
that,
what to
but it
tell you. She
switched to
shouldn't be.
reward money, though, because they had no PIs lined up. Because I will tell you, there is not many PIs in the state of Tennessee.
Kingsport area. Kingsport area.
So,
But we
You
are.
cut out for a minute. What'd you say?
oh, I said that there what? Oh, there's not many private detectives in the state of Tennessee. So I knew she wasn't going to get one. That's why she changed her GoFundMe description to reward money now.
Well, this certain creator, they have not tried to contact you, correct?
Not that we are aware of, no.
Okay. That was a question in the chat.
Okay.
No.
Not that we are aware of.
No, nobody has.
But at first we did thank her for her due diligence, you know, in helps of Layla because, you know, we just see somebody looking for, you know, our daughter, and of course we just want to say thank you, you know, and anybody who's active on it.
I thank everybody and anybody I've seen post something about my child.
But you know, we were not unaware of who she was and you know what you know her intentions are and such, which you know is honestly hurtful. And in fact, you know that we did reach out and did say thank you, and that you know this is her father, you know, and stepmother thanking her. We thanked her on a YouTube video on Betty, on Bullhorn Betty's, and she didn't know. I don't. She never replied. She never, in fact, reached out. She never spoke to her. You know, so she could have, but chose not to. And I wonder why she didn't, because you know the father counts too. And if she's about the parents, then you know she should be about the father too.
If she crosses the line, she will meet with my lawyer. Promise you that. If she crosses the line, she will meet my lawyer.
Yeah, I was just curious, and well, people in chat were curious if she had tried to reach out to you.
No, I have nothing to say to her. I have nothing to say to that lady for what she said about my daughter. False accusations about my daughter. She's murdered. She's murdered. I have nothing to say to that lady. And if she says anything to me, I mean, I will get my lawyer involved. She'll have big problems.
And if money is being raised towards her and we are unaware of what is being raised, and if it's not going to what it's supposed to be,
my lawyer will take action.
Yes. Because again, you know,
it's about Layla. It's all about Layla.
Mm-hmm. That's why we're here.
Is Layla 100%?
Yep. And you know, whatever, you know, once the search is completed, whatever funds are left over,
we'd like to go back to searching other children.
Yes,
and search for other children.
Also, since depending on the outcome
of my daughter,
if the outcome is not, in fact good, then the remains are gonna go. Majority of the remains are gonna go to Nova into a trust fund, on our behalfs, and then we will also be donating a amount into the missing persons,
children.
The children, the same parents that were literally, that are going through what we're going through.
If they've seen that movie, what's that movie? Sounds of Freedom?
Yeah.
Sounds of Freedom? That guy just saved another 120 children. That guy's a hero.
Wow.
Yeah, after he made the movie. So if you people haven't seen that movie, you watch that movie. This guy's amazing. He's a real hero. He saves these children every day.
Wow.
Yeah, if we can only have more.
Well, guys, I'll do what I can, from this area since I'm here. If you need anything, you can contact me anytime.
Yes, thank you.
I'll do whatever I can to help you, and I actually look forward to meeting you all in person when you get here.
Yes, absolutely, we do too. Absolutely, we can't thank everybody, enough, that's been involved and that has helped and made flyers, put up flyers, and any type of involvement with Layla. We are truly grateful.
I know I keep posting her flyer on Twitter, and it keeps getting retweeted, which is not Twitter anymore, whatever it is. But, people are sharing it and stuff, and at least that's a start.
Okay, I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot.
No problem. I want her found.
Yes, we do. I want her found safe.
Exactly.
Really. I mean, if she's being held hostage, we can try to work through the abuse that obviously she could be in danger with right now. Counseling and stuff like that. I hope, I'd rather be alive than dead, to be honest with you. So
any last words that you'd like to tell us about Layla?
She's amazing. She's really good-hearted. She was a good mother. She's a good daughter, and that's pretty much it. She lights the room up when she smiles.
Amazing.
She's amazing.
Well, I will definitely keep in touch, and anytime, you have my number, you have my email.
All right.
You also have Bash's. We do a lot of collaboration on
Okay.
YouTube, so we are all thinking of you and your family, and most of all, we're thinking about Layla.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you again for telling us your story. And, I always say on my channel, I know things, but it's not my story to tell. So I appreciate you trusting me and allowing me the platform for you to tell your story.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate for the opportunity.
All
I
right. Well,
will see you guys soon.
Yes,
yes,
absolutely. We will certainly be in touch.
great.
Okay, great.
So if you can, I know it's probably new to you, but if you I can remove you, or you can just leave.
Okay, let me take a look.
Yep. All right. Have a great one.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, y'all. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope that gave some answers to the questions that I know many of us have had. And going forward, just keep sharing Layla's picture. I will reshare the oh my gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. Her flyer, that I believe it's probably gone a little bit further down on my community post, but I will reshare that. And I actually did find a flyer that had actually been put in the windows of different businesses in that shopping plaza.
Oh,
That
good.
Yeah, and I was surprised when you went there, Bash, that you didn't see them because
Well, if I had got out and walked around, I probably would have seen. I just drove through the
oh,
parking
that's
lot
true. You
looking
just drove
for
through.
security cameras. Yeah.
That's true. So, definitely, just keep sharing her picture. We have people all over the place, and I did see, I believe it was just Samantha had mentioned Kensington, and I lived in Philly, and Kensington wasn't the way it is now when I was there, but it's a I don't want to say amazing. It's interesting how people do find their way to Kensington. So no matter where you are, sharing her photo, she really could be anywhere. So definitely keep sharing her picture. And if you have any questions, reach out to myself or Bash, because we are in contact with dad and stepmom. And like I said, this is about Layla and finding Layla. Bash, any last words?
No, I'm glad they got to, come on and share their story, and we just need to get information out there more than what it already is and find this girl. She's a beautiful girl and she needs to be found safe and come home.
I agree. So I hope all of you have a great night. Tomorrow will be my 2K celebration. So that is scheduled for 7:00 Eastern. So I hope to see you then. And until then, I will see you all on the flip side.